Hello students, good evening all of you. So today in our class I want to explaining the essay type questions of the chapter name. It is work, energy and power. This is the requesting video for so many students are requesting me through my mail. Sir, please upload a video for each lesson essay type questions for board examinations. So then I shall start this video. And already I uploaded the chapter name. It is oscillations. In that I have been uploaded. That is question number. There are 3 questions are there. Please follow it and make it notes. And now I am explaining the chapter name. It is work, energy and power. From this chapter there are 10 marks of weightage for board examinations. That is 8 marks question and also 2 marks question. Okay. So in this chapter there are 3 questions are there. That is first one, it is the collisions theory. That is the one of the concept of collisions, and also work energy theorem, and the third one, it is the law of conservation of energy in case of freely falling body. These 3 are the very important questions, and mostly 99% of these 3, the law of conservation of energy will be asking in every year. So today I want to explain these 3 questions. You have to follow and make it useful to you. Let us start our topic. So here, work, energy and power. Work, energy, power. 8 marks. Q's. 8 marks questions. Okay, only 8 marks question. So the first question I have to explain here, that is the work energy theorem. Work energy theorem. So what is the work energy theorem? What it says to us? Work energy theorem, it is nothing but the constant external force. The constant external force is acting on a body, then the work done should be is equal to the change in its kinetic energy. Change in its kinetic energy. So the basic step you have to know here, the kinetic energy of the body Ke is equal 1 by 2 mv square. This is the kinetic energy. The work done on a body W, it is equal F dot S. W is equal F dot S. So these 2 are the major points here to verify the work energy theorem. So the work energy theorem says that whenever the constant external force, so this is a body having the mass m, when the constant external force will be acting on that body, then it will be displaces some distance. Now the work done should be acting done here, that is F dot S. This work done should be equal to change in its kinetic energy, that is the delta Ke. Ke is the kinetic energy, delta is the change in kinetic energy. The change in kinetic energy is equal to the final kinetic energy. It is final kinetic energy Ke of F for final, and initial kinetic energy. The change in the difference between the final kinetic energy and to the initial kinetic energy is equal to the change in its kinetic energy. So here the work done is equal to the change in its kinetic energy. It is meaning that what is the final velocity of the body here? Let it be V or Vf. The initial kinetic energy of the body, it is Vi, or it is initial velocity U or Ui. Hence you can write that the final kinetic energy, that is of m Vf square. Vf square, that is the kinetic energy, it is equal to half mv square. It is final kinetic energy, hence we need to write Vf square, and minus of 1 by 2 m Vi or Ui square. Ui square. Simply you can write that of m v square minus of m u square. This is the change in kinetic energy that is nothing but work done. The work done it is equal here. What is the work done here? That is F dot S it is equal. Our aim is to prove the work done should be equal to change in its kinetic energy. That is the work energy theorem. Okay, let us start how we can derive it. Let us see. Here a body having the mass m here, and whenever we have to applying an external force F, this is the constant external force, here you need to write constant force, and then it should be displaces some distance, that is S, hence there is work done should be W is equal F dot S. Okay, then the initial velocity is equal to U, and the final velocity is equal to V, and the uniform acceleration. So uniform acceleration it is equal to A. Uniform acceleration, because of uniform acceleration it is meaning that the change in velocity is uniform. Okay, so hence from the law of equation of motion we can write that. So here V, U, V and A is also there and S is also there, hence we need to find V square minus U square it is equal to 2AS. V square minus U square is equal to AS. So before going to that, let us write a small sentence here. So first you have to write statement. What is the statement? So here the statement it is, when the constant external force acting on your body, then work done should be equal to change in its change in kinetic energy, or change in its kinetic energy. So this is the statement. So the work done is equal to the change in its kinetic energy. It is meaning that work done is equal change in kinetic energy, change in Ke. Therefore W it is equal to delta Ke. Therefore W it is equal to F dot S it is equal of M, or it is nothing but rightly you have to write delta Ke, nothing but Kef minus Kei. Okay, it is equal of M V square minus of M U square. Okay, so this is the work done. So this is the work energy theorem. Now we have to prove this one. This is the work energy theorem. So the proof of the work energy theorem it is equal, we have to take a mass M body, and we have to applying an external force F. Then before applying the force, the initial velocity is U, and it has displaces by S displacement by the external force. Then the final velocity is equal to V, where the uniform acceleration A. Hence we need to write an expression from the laws of equation of motion. After this one we have to write this. So please note it all. Take it a screenshot and note it in our notebook. Right. So now from this figure we have to write here the work done it is equal to F dot S. Therefore from laws of equation of motion, we have to write V square minus U square it is equal to 2AS. So from this equation we have to multiply by the m by 2 on both sides. Multiply m by 2 on both sides. So therefore m by 2 into v square minus u square, it is equal to m by 2 into 2as. Here 2 gets cancelled out, and this can be written as 1 by 2 into m v square minus u square. Simply you have to write ma into s. Ma it is equal by the Newton's second law. Here mv square minus half mu square, it is equal f dot s, because of f is equal to ma. F is equal to ma. Hence the f dot s, it is nothing but work done. So here we have to write the work done doubly, it is equal half m v square minus half m u square. Hence w it is equal delta. So here it can be written as kef minus kei. So it is also written as delta ke. It is nothing but change in kinetic energy. So that is our motto we have to find. So hence we have to derive the work energy theorem. So this is the very important, and it is simplest solving method. Okay. So please note it. So this is the 8 marks question, and simply we have to, if it is the displacement of d, let it be displacement d, then you have to write how it can be. So please note this. So for suppose if we have to take the displacement, it is d, then after that we have to multiply by the m by 2 on both sides, then 2a into d, it is ma into d, where ma it is the f and s it is equal to d. F into d is the force into displacement, it is equal w. Hence we have to write delta k. Clear? So this is the work energy theorem. So this is a very simple for 8 marks question from the chapter work energy and power. Now let us see the second question, which is law of conservation of energy. Law of conservation of energy in case of freely falling body. State and prove the law of conservation of energy in case of freely falling body. This is the question. Very important. Expecting. So expecting this one. 2021. Okay. So what is law of conservation of energy? So law of conservation of energy says that the energy can neither be created nor be destroyed. The energy can neither be created nor be destroyed, but it can changes one form to another. The total energy of a system, always remains constant. So this is the statement for the law of conservation of energy. It has the weightage of 1 mark. Okay, if you write these 3 lines, this statement, and then you have get 1 mark. The energy can neither be created nor be destroyed, but it can changes one form to another. The total energy of a system always remains constant. It means energy ni సృష్టించలేము, నాశనం చేయలేము. The total energy is always remains constant. శక్తి మొత్తం ఎప్పుడు స్థిరంగా ఉంటుంది, కానీ ఒక రూపం నుంచి ఇంకో రూపంలోకి మార్చవచ్చు. ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఎలక్ట్రికల్ ఎనర్జీ, whenever you have to on the switch, then the light will be glowing. Okay, the electrical energy will be converted into light energy and to the heat energy. After some time the light will give us some heat whenever you have to touch the light or bulb. Okay, so the electrical energy will be converted into light energy and heat energy. So the summation of heat energy and light energy will be equal to the electrical energy. So only the electrical energy is divided into two forms, that is light energy and also heat energy. But the total energy is always remains same. Okay, for example నీ దగ్గర ఒక 30 రూపీస్ ఉన్నాయి. ఈ 30 రూపీస్ ని మార్కెట్కి వెళ్ళి 3 టైప్స్ గా మార్చేసుకుంటావు. నువ్వు పెన్ కొంటావు, బుక్ కొంటావు, ఇంకేమైనా పెన్సిల్ కొంటావు, రైట్? సో ద ఎనర్జీ కెన్ బి చేంజెస్ వన్ ఫార్మ్ టు అనదర్ ఫార్మ్. ఈ 30 రూపీస్ ని డిఫరెంట్ ఫార్మ్స్ లో కన్వర్ట్ చేసినాం. ఈ రిమైనింగ్ ఆఫ్టర్ దట్ పెన్ను నువ్వు రిటర్న్ ఇచ్చేసినావు, బుక్ రిటర్న్ ఇచ్చేసావు, పెన్సిల్ రిటర్న్ ఇచ్చేసావు, then you have to get 30 rupees again. The total energy always remains constant. So here in this case the energy cannot be created. 30 రూపాయల కంటే ఎక్కువ రూపాయలు మనం తీసుకురాలేము, అలానే 30 రూపాయల కంటే తక్కువ కూడా తీసుకురాలేము. The energy cannot be created, neither be created nor be destroyed. Okay, but it can changes one form to another, and the total energy of a system always remains constant. Here the energies are two types, that is potential energy and kinetic energy. That is the mechanical energy will be always in two types, that is potential energy, kinetic energy. The energy will be converted as potential energy and kinetic energy. Okay, so this law of conservation of energy will be proved in case of freely falling body. So is it proven or not? Let us see. So here the total energy is equal to constant. Constant means no change. So TE is equal, total energy is equal potential energy plus kinetic energy. So potential energy plus kinetic energy, where it should be simply written as TE is equal PE plus KE. It is equal, we have to see as constant. This is the work energy theorem. The total energy of a system always remains constant. Total energy, it is meaning that potential energy plus kinetic energy is equal to constant. So let us prove how it is constant at all the points in case of freely falling body. Okay, clear? So please note it. Right, so let us verify. So we have to prove this in case of this law of conservation of energy in case of freely falling body. Let us take a ball. This is a ball having the mass m. Okay, so this is the freely falling body. The initial velocity of this body, it is 0. Initially it has 0 velocity, and it will be fall down to the ground, and it reaches the point B. So this is at first at point A, and it reaches point B, and in that journey finally it has at on earth and ground point. So this is the point C. Okay, so here the total height, at first it has the height from the ground, it is h height. It has located at h height. After displaces or after x distance travel, it has reached the point B. Now the ball is at point B. The height of the ball at point B, it is h minus x. Okay, now let us prove what is the total energy of the ball at point A, and what is the total energy of ball at point B, what is the total energy of the ball at point C. So for getting the total energy, we have to find the potential energy and kinetic energy. Okay, so now let us see a ball mass m is at h height h height from the ground. From the ground. A ball mass m is at h height from the ground. Initial velocity u is equal 0. Initial velocity u is equal 0. Now at point A, so we have to taken a point A. So our aim it is to find the total energy. So for getting the total energy, so TE is equal PE plus KE. Already you know that. Hence we have to find potential energy at A and kinetic energy at A. Then we can get total energy at A. Okay. So potential energy at A. So at first we need to find potential energy at A. Potential energy, that is PEA. So the basic equation of the potential energy, it is equal to mgh. So here mass of the ball m, it is mass, and g, it is the acceleration due to gravity, and acts as plus g. So the acceleration due to gravity, a, it is equal plus g here. A is equal plus g in downward direction, and h is the height of the ball. So we are at the point A, hence m is equal to m and g is equal to g and h is equal h here, because of the point we have to taken where A. At point A, the height of the ball, it is h. Hence we have to substitute here PE at A, it is equal mg h, no change. The potential energy of the body, so at point A, it is the mgh. Now let us find kinetic energy KE at A. It is equal, the basic equation, it is equal of mv square. So m, it is the mass of the body, v is the velocity of the body. How much velocity it has? Initially it has u, it is 0. So here v, it is equal to u, it is equal 0. The velocity of the ball is equal to the initial velocity, and the initial velocity of the ball is equal to 0. Hence the KE at A, you can write that of m0 square, it is equal 0. The kinetic energy at point A is equal 0. Therefore total energy at A, it is equal PE at A and plus KE at A. Therefore PE at A, it is equal mgh and plus KE at A is equal 0. It should be written as mgh. This is the total energy. So the total energy of the body. So here TE at A, it is equal mgh. So note down, TE at A is equal mgh. So note it, all of you. And now let us, similarly we have to find total energy at point B, total energy at point C. For getting the total energy, we have to find the potential energy at that point and also the kinetic energy at the same point. Okay. Right. Okay. So now let us take in now it is at point B. At point B, the ball traveled x distance, and then it reaches point B. So the height of the ball from the ground, h is equal to h minus x. So it has traveled x distance. So then the ball is located at here, the height of the ball, it is h minus x. For example, here the total height is 10 meters, it has traveled 3 meters. Now the height it is 10 minus 3, it is 7 meters. Okay. So here S it is equal x and h is equal h minus x. Therefore, potential energy at point B, PE at B is equal mgh. How I can taken as mgh? Mgh is the basic equation of the potential energy. So here mass of the body as it is mass m, acceleration due to gravity always g, and h it is nothing but h minus x. H it is nothing but h minus x. Therefore, it is equal, you can write mgh minus mg into x. We have to multiply into the by the mg. Therefore, P at B is equal mgh minus mgx, right? So, and next to Ke at B, Ke at B it is equal of mv square, of mv square. So, here the ball is at point B. Here we don't know the velocity of the ball, how much it has. Initially it has zero velocity. It will be gradually increasing its velocity to reach the ground point. So how it will be get here? So the v square minus u square, it is equal to as. You have to use this equation for getting the velocity of the ball. So already you know the initial velocity, you know the acceleration due to gravity, a is equal plus g, you know the s value, that is displacement x. Okay, so hence you can write v square minus u square nothing but 0 square, it is equal to into a nothing but plus g, and it to s nothing but x. So it displaces x distance from the point A. Okay, so therefore v square it is equal to gx, v square it is equal to gx. Hence we have to substitute v square value into this value. Therefore Keb is equal of m v square nothing but 2gx. So 2 gets cancelled. Keb is equal mgx. Keb is equal mgh. Now we have to find the total energy. So total energy it is equal Pe plus Ke. Pe plus Ke. So how we can write the total energy? The total energy it is equal. Total energy at point B, Te at B is equal P at B plus K at B. Here it is equal mg h minus mgx, that is the potential energy, clear, and plus Keb, K at point B it is mgx. Okay, so these two gets cancelled out. The remaining it is mgh. So Te at B is equal mgh. So here we have to write the total energy at point B, it is equal mgh at point A and at point B. Okay, now we have to find at point C the total energy. The total energy at the point C. Okay, so let us write, all of you copying it. Okay, now let us see at point C. So here at point C, so to reach the point C, the ball is moving. The ball is traveled. The distance of how much distance it has been traveled? X distance plus h minus x distance, that is h distance. How much distance it is? X distance and plus h minus x distance, it is equal plus x minus x cancel, it is h distance. The total distance will be that how much height it has. At first that much of height should be traveled, then it will be reaches the ground point. Okay, h distance లో ఉన్న ఆబ్జెక్ట్ ఏ పాయింట్ దగ్గర ఉంది, అది C కి రావాలంటే h distance ట్రావెల్ చేస్తేనే వచ్చింది. సో రైట్, సో హియర్ the ball is traveled h distance, then it reaches point C. Okay, the height at point C, is 0 because of h is equal 0 here, because of it has at ground point, on the ground point the height is equal 0. Hence potential energy at point C, it is equal mgh. This is the basic equation. Mass of the ball m, acceleration due to gravity plus g, h is equal 0. Hence it is 0. P at C, it is equal 0. Potential energy of the ball. And now kinetic energy of the ball, Ke at C is equal half mv square. Again we have to find v square minus u square, it is equal to as. Okay, v square minus u it is equal 0 square. 2 into a nothing but g. Yes, it is nothing but how much distance it has been traveled, that is h distance. Should not be confused. Okay, that is v square, it is equal to g h. Therefore Ke at C is equal 1 by 2 m. What is that v square? 2g h here. 2 gets cancelled out. Then Ke at C is equal mg h. Ke at C is equal mg h. Now we have to find the total energy. The total energy Te is equal, Te at C is equal Pe at C plus Ke at C here. So Pe at C is equal 0 and Ke at C is equal mg h. Let us write Te at C is equal mg h. So this is the total energy at point C, it is equal mgh. So let us clear, the total energy remains always constant. The total energy remains always same. It has been changes. There is no change in the total energy of the body, total energy of the system. The total energy remains always same, but the energy can be changes one form to another form. One form to another form. Are you observed here how it can changes one form to another form? Let us see. So please note it all. Let us see how it is changes. So at first point A, we seen that the potential energy Pe at A is equal to mgh. At point B, Pe at B is equal to mgh minus mgx. So it will be decreases. At first it has mgh, and after at point B it has mgh minus x. So why? Because of the height of the ball should be decreases, the potential energy decreases. At here at point C, the height will be 0, it is 0. So the potential energy should be decreases and it can be reaches 0 at the ground point. Now let us see the additional question for the law of conservation of energy, that is weightage of 2 marks. The question it is a machine gun fires 360 bullets per minute. 360 bullets per minute. Each bullet travels with the speed of 600 meter per second, and the mass of each bullet is 5 grams. Mass of each bullet is 5 grams. Then find power of the gun. Okay, so this is the additional question which was asking in previous examinations repeatedly. Every year, almost from the last 3-4 years, they can be asking this question for the weightage of 2 marks. A machine gun fires 360 bullets per minute. Each bullet travels with the speed of 600 meters per second, and the mass of each bullet is 5 grams. Okay. So then find the power of the gun. Okay, let us write the formula how we can find the power. So power it is equal, already you know that power it is equal, what is that power? So solution here, power it is equal work done by time. Power is equal work done by time. Work done by time here. So what is the work done here? W by T. Which type of work done is here? Machine gun fires a bullet. Bullet is in moving. So the work done should be in the form of kinetic energy, that is of mv square. 1 by 2 mv square by time. So here there are n number of bullets are there. N number of bullets. For each bullet having the kinetic energy of mv square, and n number of bullets are having the n into of mv square kinetic energy. So let us substitute all those values. N8 is equal 360 here. 360 bullets. Number of bullets N8 is 360, and mass of the bullet M is equal 5 grams. So it will be converted into kilograms. 5 into 10 power minus 3 kg. And V it is the velocity of the bullet, that is 600 meter per second. And time T it is the 1 minute. So that is equal 60 seconds. So these are the values we have to substitute in this equation. So for the substitution of in this equation, the power should be calculated. So it is equal, P is equal, what is N here? 360 into, and 1 by 2. So here 1. So by 2 it is by 2. And into mass of the bullet, 5 into 10 power minus 3 into velocity 600 into 600. Okay. By time T it is equal 60. So these are the values you have to substitute here. So whereas this term and this will be cancelled 6 times. 6 60s are 360. Okay. And now this 0 and this 0 and this 0. 3 zeros are cancelled out by the 10 power minus 3. Okay. Remaining is here 60, 60. Okay. And here these 2 and 6 will be 3 times. Okay. So to 15 it is 3 into 5 it is 15, and 60 into 6 it is equal 360. So it is equal 360 into 15. 360 into 15. 15 zeros are 0. 15 6s are 90. It is 90. 15 3s are 45 plus 9 54. Whereas 5400 watts. 5400 watt power. The units of power it is watt. If it is in kilowatts, it is power it is equal 5.4 kilowatt. 1 kilowatt is equal 1000 watts. So the power of the machine gun it is 5.4 kilowatts. Okay. So this is the process we have to find. This is weightage of 2 marks only. 2 marks weightage for the additional question of the law of conservation of energy. Same pattern. So here there is a pump requires to lift 600 kg of water per minute. So here there is a well of depth 25 meter of depth. 25 meter of depth. Okay. So for suppose so here it can lift up the water. So from this point, lift up the water from the 25 meter of depth. So from here. Okay. Right. So here, so this is the water which is 600 kg of water per minute, and with a speed of 50 meter per second. Okay. And now what is the power required to the pump? It is work done by time. The power it is equal, power P it is equal work done by time. Work done it is here. Whenever we have to lift up the object from the depth or the height, then the work done should be in the form of potential energy. At first it has potential energy mgh, and also whenever it was lift up by the outside, then it will be flowing, then it has kinetic energy also. Kinetic energy also. So here the total work done should be in the form of potential energy and also kinetic energy. Hence, we need to take the work done should be mgh plus half mv square by time. So here all the terms are well known. So mass it is the 600 into g it is the 10 meter per second square, and h it is the, here g value it is 10 meter per second square. G it is the 10 meter per second square. Okay. And h it is the 25 meter of depth, and plus 1 by 2 into 600 into v square, it is 50 square by 60 here. So let us simplify. Here it is 300. Okay, it is 300, right? It is 6000 into 25. 25 into 6000, it is 1,50,000. 1,50,000 plus 50 square, 250, 2500. 50 square, it is equal 50 square into 300, it is equal 250 into 250 50 into 2500 into 300, it is 7,050, 7,50,000, 7,50,000 by 60 here, by 60 here. So what is that? 1,50,000, 7,50,000, it is 9 lakh. So whereas P it is equal 9 lakh. Okay. So there are 9 lakhs, right, by 60 here, 6 zeros. So it is 6, it is the, how much? It has 15,000. So it is equal 15,000 watts, 15,000 watt, or the power required to the pump, it is 15 kilowatts. 15 kilowatts. 1 kilowatt is equal 1000 watts. Okay, so the answer it is 15 kilowatts. Right, so these type of questions will be asking for the additional question of the law of conservation of energy. And first question it is the work energy theorem, and the second question is the law of conservation of energy. Okay, and the remaining question it is the collision theory. So in this question we have to prove the one-dimensional elastic collision to find the final velocities of the bodies which are participating in the collision, which are participating in the one-dimensional elastic collision. Okay, so that is the next question we have to see here. Right. Now the next question it is collision theory. Collision theory. So this is very big answer. So in case of one-dimensional elastic collision, one-dimensional elastic collision, okay. So here the collision it is, the question, the way of questioning it is, way of asking the question it is, define collision and what are the types of collision, and derive the equation for the final velocities of the particles which are in the one-dimensional elastic collision. That is the question here. So the collision, the definition of the collision it is the smallest interaction between two particles, smallest interaction two particles is called collision. So it has been done with the shortest time. It has been done in a shortest time. The smallest interaction between the two particles is known as the collision. In this collision, mainly the momentum will be changes. Momentum of the bodies will be changes. Momentum of the bodies should be changes. Okay, change. And The types of collisions are, it is head-on collision, head-on, and the second one it is oblique collision, head-on and oblique collision. In case of head-on collision, after collision, particles or bodies maintain same straight line. So which they are collide to each other, which direction they have to collide to each other, the direction should not be changes. They can be moving in the same direction, same straight line. But in case of oblique collision, after the collision, particles does not follow the same direction. They have moving in the random direction. So with some angle, okay, follow the same direction. So these are the main types of the collisions. So in case of head-on collision, there are furtherly it can be divided into two collision, that is elastic collisions, and one more it is inelastic collision. In case of elastic collision, the objects which are participating in the elastic collision obeys two laws, that is conservation law of linear momentum, linear momentum, and conservation law of kinetic energy. So these two laws are obeyed in the elastic collision. At which collision? Conservation law of energy, conservation law of linear momentum, and conservation law of kinetic energy is obeyed. That collision is known as the elastic collision. But in case of inelastic collision, only the linear momentum will be conservation law of linear momentum. Should be obeyed. Conservation law of linear momentum should be obeyed. Linear momentum, only conservation law of linear momentum obeys. Okay, this is the inelastic collision. So now we have to discuss elastic collision, and we have to prove so which the objects are participating in the elastic collision, and after the collision how much velocity they can be getting. The final velocities of the object will be find out in this question. Okay, so this is the introduction theory about the collision theory. Okay, right. So collision, the smallest interaction between the two particles, that is the collision. So in the collision theory, the momentum should be changes, and collisions are two types, that is head-on collision and oblique collision. In case of head-on collision, the particles after collision maintain the same straight line, but in case of oblique collision, after collision the particles should not be maintain the same straight line. They have to go in random direction. And head-on collisions are separated into two types, that is elastic and inelastic. Elastic collisions obeys the conservation law of conservation law of linear momentum and the conservation law of kinetic energy. And the inelastic collisions obeys only the conservation law of linear momentum. So this is the basic theory you have to remember. Right. So now we have to enter into the theory which we are discussing. Right. So here, one-dimensional elastic collision. So here there are two bodies. which are having mass m1 and is having mass m2 initially. Okay, which has initial velocity u1, which has initial velocity u2. This is the before collision, right? And this is the at the during the collision, so this is m2 and this is m1. They have trying to interact each other. This is during collision, so we cannot estimate the speed of them, but this is the mass m1 and this is the mass m2. After collision they have get velocities are changes, that is v1 and v2. Now we have to find how much it is v1 and how much it is v2. So that is a theory. And before they have u1 and u2 initial velocities, u1 and u2, and after collision they will be get v1 and v2 velocities. So what is the value of v1 and what is the value of v2? So this is the theory here. So now let us see, in case of elastic collision, only it can, at first it has obeys law of conservation of linear momentum. Law of conservation of linear momentum. So what is law of conservation of linear momentum? The total momentum at before collision, before collision is equal to the total momentum at after collision. This is the law of conservation of linear momentum. Okay, so what is the total momentum of the bodies before collision? Momentum, it is the mass into velocity. At before collision there are two bodies are there, that is m1 and m2. The first body, the momentum of the first body, it is the m1 u1, mass into velocity. The momentum of the second body, it is m2 u2. This is only at before collision. So the total momentum means the sum of these two momentums. So here m1 u1 and plus m2 u2. So this is the total momentum at before collision, and it is equal total momentum at after collision. At after collision they have get the velocity v1 and the second body get velocity v2. So m1 v1 and plus m2 v2. So this plus gives us the total momentum. So this is at before collision, this is at after collision, right? So now we have to simplify this. The m1 masses are one side and m2 masses are other side. So the m1 u1 minus of m1 v1. So this m1 should be comes this side, and the m2 v2 and minus of m2 u2. So this m2 should be comes right side. So m1 should be common here, u1 minus, what is that here, u1 minus v1. Okay, it is equal, m2 should be common here, v2 minus u2. So you have to write clearly what is u1 and what is v1. The letter should not be confused here. So this is the equation 1. Put it in our mind. Right. So this is the equation 1. By the law of conservation of linear momentum, we have to write that m1 into u1 minus v1 is equal m2 into v2 minus v2. Okay. Right. So now let us take the second equation, which is possible to the law of conservation of kinetic energy, which is obeys the law of conservation of kinetic energy. So what is the law of conservation of kinetic energy? So this is also the same. The total kinetic energy, total KE at before collision is equal to total KE at after collision. So the kinetic energy basic equation KE, it is equal 1 by 2 mv square. So the first body, the kinetic energy of the first body at before collision, it is equal 1 by 2. Mass, it is the m1. Velocity is the u1 square. So here hence we have to write 1 by 2 m1 u1 square plus 1 by 2 m2 u2 square. So this is the kinetic energy of the first body at before collision. This is the kinetic energy of the second body at before collision, is equal to the kinetic energy of the first body at after collision and kinetic energy of the second body at after collision. So this is the first body velocity, this is the second body velocity, this is the summation, the total kinetic energy. So hence we have to do the same way, we have to write that. So here all the m1 terms will be on side and m2 terms will be on the side. It is half of m1 u1 square minus half of m1 v1 square. It is equal 1 by 2 m2 v2 square minus 1 by 2 m2 u2 square. So here 1 by 2, 1 by 2, 1 by 2, 1 by 2 is common. So then, so this is keep in your mind. So m1 in u1 minus v1, m2 into v2 minus u2. So just you have to correct it as 1 by 2 is common. It is m1 u1 square minus, sorry, here m1 is also common here, 1 by 2 m1 and u1 square minus v1 square. It is equal 1 by 2 m2 v2 square minus u2 square. Right, 1 by 2 gets cancelled. m1 into u1 minus v1 square, it is equal m2 into v2 square minus u2 square. Okay, so this is the second equation from the law of conservation of kinetic energy. Okay, the first question is already, the first equation is already, you have to remember here from the first equation. So all of you note it. So from the first equation we can write that. What is the first equation here? So we have to do here, that is equation 2 by equation 1. So equation 2, it is equal m1 into this one, m1 into u1 square minus v1 square, it is equal to m2 into v2 square minus u2 square. Clear? This is by one equation, it is m1 into u1 minus v1 and in this side m2 into v2 minus u2. So this is the first equation. And now clearly m1 cancel out, m2 cancel out. Okay, and let us the remaining value, it is, what is the remaining value here? The remaining value, it is a square minus b square, and it is a square minus b square, let it be written as a plus b into a minus b, u1 plus v1 into u1 minus v1. So the basic formula, a plus b into a minus b, it is equal a square minus b square. So here u1 square minus v1 square, u1 is the a, v1 is the b. So in this way we have to write that by u1 minus v1 is equal v2 plus u2 v2 minus u2 by v2 minus u2. So here v2 minus u2 gets cancelled, and u1 minus v1 gets cancelled. u1 plus v1 is equal v2 plus u2. From this, all the initial velocities are keep one side and all the final velocities are keep other side. So here u1 minus u2, this u2 is this side, v2 minus v1, v2 minus v1, v2 minus v1. So this is very important equation which can be shows as u1 minus u2 is the relative approaching velocity at before collision, relative approaching velocity at before collision, and v2 minus v1 is the relative separation of velocity at after collision. So both are in equal in case of only elastic collision. In case of inelastic collision, these are not equal. Okay, these are not equal. Only in case of elastic collision, the relative approaching velocity at before collision is equal to the relative separation of velocity at after collision. They have equal to each other in case of only elastic collision. This is very important equation. So this is also asking for 4 marks in some cases. Up to this, how we can prove the relative show the relative approaching velocity at before collision is equal to relative separation of velocity at after collision. That is the question. Okay, so now let us find what is the value of V1 and what is the value of V2. That is the question. So 50% is completed, remaining 50% is there. All of you note it. Okay, from this equation we have to, on the basis of this equation we have to find easily V1 and V2. How it is possible, let us see. Okay, right. So here U1 minus U2, U1 minus U2, it is U1 minus U2, it is equal to V2 minus V1. Okay, this is equation number 3. Okay, from this equation V2 is equal to U1 minus U2 and plus of V1. This minus V1, it is comes this side and it will be getting V1. This is equation 4. Okay, so now the V2 value will be substituted in the first equation. First, that is the law of conservation of momentum. What is that? Linear momentum, where that is m1 u1 plus m2 u2 is equal m1 v1 plus m2 v2. So this is the law of conservation of linear momentum. Law of conservation of linear momentum. So the total momentum at before collision is equal to total momentum at after collision. Okay, right. Now let us substitute the V2 value, this one. This is the value of V2. And simplify all those terms and you can get the value of something, whatever, V1 or V2, let us see. It is m1 u1 plus m2 u2 is equal to m1 v1 plus m2 into v2 is equal to u1 minus u2 plus v1. So I just write value of v2. So just simply you have to write m1 v1 plus m2 u1. We have to multiply by the m2 minus m2 u2 plus m2 v1 plus m2 v1. So we have to write the separation of the v1 and v2, u1 and u2. Okay, so this is m1 u1 plus m2 u2. So the terms which are m1 all are one side and which are m2 all are other side. Keep it and just you have to write how we can write that. That is equal m1 u1 minus this m1 v1. Okay, right. So this is m2 u1 and this minus of m2 u2, this one, and minus m2 u2, this one, and plus m2 v1. Okay, right. Now we have to write all the v1 terms and all the initial velocities are all one side and the final velocities are other side. So that is the simple way. Okay, keep it all the final velocities. Final velocity means v1 v1. So that is the final velocity. u1 u2 u1 u2 are the initial velocities. Okay, so these are kept as final velocities. What are the final velocities here? v1 m1 v1 m2 v1. Keep this side and these are other side. So m1 v1 plus this one m2 v1 is equal to this one m1 u1 plus m2 u2. This one, keep this side, it is plus m2 u2. Okay, confusion? So I just keep m1 v1, m2 v1 in this side. These are all comes left side. Okay, and minus of m2 u1. Okay, so just you have to write u1 should be common here. u1 should be common here, m1 minus m2. So this is m1 and this is m2 plus m2 u2, m2 u2. It is 2m2 u2. 2m2 u2. So here m1 should v1 should be common, m1 plus m2. Okay. Just we need v1 value, where v1 it is equal m1 minus m2 into u1 by, so here I can write m1 minus m2 into u1 plus 2m2 u2, okay, by whole divided by, due to small interruption I need to explain again. And so therefore v1 it is equal to m1 minus m2 into u1 by m1 plus m2 and plus of 2m2 u2 by m1 plus m2. So this is the equation for the final velocity of the body which is participating in one-dimensional elastic collision. Okay, and now we have to find the value of v2, the equation for final velocity of the second body, where the equation of u1 minus u2 it is equal v2 minus v1. Okay, so this the equation it is. What is this equation? So this can be the relative approaching velocity at before collision. The relative approaching velocity at before collision is equal to the relative separation of velocity at after collision. Okay, so therefore it is here, this is the relative approaching, the relative separation of velocity, after collision. So this is very important, after collision. So therefore hence this equation, at first we need to subject the equation of v2 and then we can get the v1 value. Now we have to subject the v1 value. So how we can subject the v1? v1 should be comes to the left side, and it is v2 minus of u1 minus of minus into minus plus, it is u2. So this equation can be substituted in the equation of conservation of linear momentum. This can be substituted in the conservation of linear momentum. We can get the v2 value. How we can get the v2 value? So we cannot simplify this value because of already we simplified the v1 value. So this is very lengthy. So if you have time, you have to simplify in your notebook. So v2 is equal from this. So v1, for v1 we have to subtract m1 minus m2. For v2 we have to subtract m2 minus m1. Okay. So for v1 we wrote that here u1. So now we have to write that u2, m2 u2. But the common it is m1 plus m2. This is common. And plus here for v1 there is 2m2. For v2 there is 2m1. Okay. So here m1 there is u1 by m1 plus m2. So this is the final velocity of the second body which is participating in the one-dimensional elastic collision. Okay. So this is the one type of essay question for the IP examinations. These three questions are very important, and the most of the examinations are asking state and prove the law of conservation of energy in case of freely falling body, which we are denoted here. So that is very important, and work energy theorem and also as well as collision theory. So if you like this video, please share to your friends and follow our channel for getting good marks in the board examinations as well as JEE and NEET. Already I was uploaded complete JEE and NEET of work energy power in our playlist. I have to provide in iCards. So please check it and follow our channel. Thank you.